And away we go. What's up? Is it still live? I'm so sorry. We'll do that right now. We'll go straight to it. Okay. I'll keep this up for us. Actually, I'll do it on another screen. So I'll open the Kouri Richins one first. Here, give me 1 second. Make it to my YouTube. So is it still live? The Kouri Richins? Where was it? On channel? It's on probably here, right? East Idaho News. Or no, it's Utah. Wait, which one is it? Oh boy, which one is it? Is it WTOL? Probably it, right? No. Wrong one. Shit. Which one is it? Shit. Which one is it? East Idaho, probably, right? So what I was just on? Yeah, here it is. I got it. So it is still live. I'm so sorry, guys. So in live.
She may very well spend the rest of her natural life in prison. It also does not mean that her victims who have spoken today, her kids, doesn't mean that they have to forgive her. They may never change their minds. They may never forgive their mother. And also, no court has the authority to demand that they do. But refusing to impose a sentence of life without parole does mean that we do not close the door completely. It means we do not presume to know with absolute certainty what a human life, victim or condemned, may become decades from now. It means that we do not extinguish hope entirely. Time changes people. Pain changes people. Grief changes people. Even victims and victims' families over years and decades sometimes arrive at places their present suffering could never foresee. Some discover forgiveness, some discover peace, some simply discover that healing and permanent condemnation are not always the same thing. And others don't. A sentence of life without parole assumes none of that human change matters. Not the change in the person condemned, not the change in those harmed. A life without parole sentence freezes every human being, victim and condemned, inside the worst moment of their life and declares that moment permanent. Our Constitution demands more restraint than that, because a real measure of justice is not what we do when mercy is easy. It is whether we preserve humanity when mercy is hardest. No sentence handed down today will undo suffering. A different verdict wouldn't have reversed tragedy. But there is a profound moral difference between saying you must be punished and saying you are beyond redemption forever. One is justice restrained by humility. The other risks becoming judgment without end. And no human institution possesses the moral certainty to make that judgment absolutely. That lies with God alone. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Rose.
Your Honor, I told you in the opening statements that we were going to do something a little bit different when we called upon some perspectives of people that don't even know Kouri, but that have been through this horrific journey through no choice of their own. One is from a mother whose son was murdered. Again, we're going to just share her name with only the court and the prosecution. Honorable Judge Richard Mrazek. I'm going to skip the names, including the name of her son. My son was murdered almost 30 years ago in a random act of violence. He was only 18 years old. The man who killed him was just a few months older. I know the kind of grief that changes your life. I have felt the despair, darkness, and rage that comes from that loss. I know what it's like to try to rebuild your life with a heart that will never be whole again. And I know what it feels like to believe that the only thing that will ease that pain is inflicting pain on the person responsible for never getting another day with the one you love. I grieve with the family of Eric Richins. I am heartbroken for them, especially his children. And I want to be clear that nothing I'm sharing today about the criminal justice system and its many failings should be taken as any sort of criticism of them and how they feel or act in their grief. But I feel compelled to share my perspective with the court because I wish I had known what might be on the other side of experiencing the grief of losing my son and trying to navigate the criminal justice process at the same time. And I don't envy the decisions you have to make. I only want to tell you a little of what one broken-hearted mother has learned, and that is that the criminal justice system needs more humanity. It needs more mercy. And I know this because of the man who murdered my son. Sending someone to prison without the possibility of parole should be reserved for the very rare, absolutely most heinous cases. Sending someone to prison without the possibility of parole is to decide they are irredeemable, that they are not capable of change, and will never be worthy of our trust again. It is a fate so bleak, I am not sure how anyone survives it, let alone do what my son's killer did. He went into the worst place imaginable and found a way to be a better human being. He spent the first 18 years of his adult life in maximum security. Those who are sentenced to life without the possibility of parole have few opportunities to participate in programs or work because resources are limited, and why would they waste them on someone who's never getting out of prison? The criminal justice system has gotten better and better at punishment. Mercy has almost been extinguished. We're supposed to find a balance. We're supposed to remember that these are human beings, and these decisions will ripple through generations, even strangers. I am afraid with the increasing number of people sentenced to life without even the possibility of parole, we've decided it's easier to throw people away than to try and help them change, or even allow them to try and make amends for their mistakes. Far too often we let our fear and our pain put the focus on punishment with no consideration for mercy. I did that. I wanted the man who killed my son to die. I wanted him to suffer. I didn't care what happened to him as long as he never got out of prison. But as much as I know about pain and loss, I know more about hope and forgiveness, and that's thanks in part to the man who killed my son. He was sent to one of the worst places in the world and became one of the best people I know. Nearly 20 years after my son's death, I received a letter he wrote, expressing his sorrow and his remorse. His apology helped me heal, deepened my forgiveness, and created a bond that continues to bless the lives of many people. I know that every case is different, but I also know the power of hope. I believe in second chances. I believe a life sentence imposes punishment without destroying hope. My personal hope for Kouri is that she does what that individual did, that she finds a way to become a better person no matter what. I thank you for taking the time to read this letter. I know it's a heavy burden to make this decision. I express love and support to those involved and pray we'll all be better to each other. And then I also would have one more, and then we have someone who's going to testify on WebEx. Speak on WebEx, not testify, sorry, speak on WebEx. This is very short, Your Honor. It is from a former prosecutor that imposed these types of punishments. Thank you so much. Also, I'm keeping his name private. As a matter of fact, I'm going to skip the very first sentence because it would reveal who he is. So I'll just let the court read the first sentence quietly. I was in charge of the prosecution of a young man who committed 2 serious homicides at the Log Haven restaurant. He was prosecuted and found guilty. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive 5-to-life terms. 20 years later, while no longer a prosecutor, I happened to be at the Utah State Prison on government business. I was given a tour of the prison industries unit, and I saw an individual sitting at a large desk in front of a bank of computers. I asked about him and was told that he was the individual who had committed the crimes at Log Haven. I was told he was a model inmate, spoke 5 languages, had 2 master's degrees from Utah State, and was used as a go-between when there was unrest among inmates. He was respected by his fellow inmates. He was indispensable at the industries and had set up the entire computer system to run the unit. Coincidentally, the very next day, I was speaking with the son-in-law of the father of one of the victims. He related to me how there had been a complete reconciliation between their family and the killer of their son. They had long ago forgiven him and wondered if I could help getting him paroled. I still had connections in the criminal justice system, and I told him I would try. I subsequently met with him at the prison, and I was equally impressed with how he had turned his life around. We were able to get him an expedited parole hearing. Tragically, he died from suicide a few months later when he was falsely accused of inappropriate access of the state computer system and removed from his position into a secure unit of the prison. This case was a textbook lesson of how rehabilitation can work. He was not the same cocky druggie that we sent to prison 20 years ago. I saw absolutely no reason why he needed to spend more years in custody. Even his fellow inmates told me they were convinced he had done everything to reform himself and become a valuable member of society. I agreed. Keeping someone incarcerated when they've proven themselves is just plain wrong. Prison sentences without possibility of parole create the same issue. I believe it should be reserved for the most violent and dangerous of individuals. Thank you for taking the time to read this. And then Ms. Lewis will introduce the final speaker, and then she'll have her comments, and then we'll take that break.
Who is the person you'd like me to?
Emory Blanchard.
One moment, please. Emory, if you'd please unmute your audio, I'd appreciate it.
Are we able to see her?
Oh, my apologies. Thank you. Emory, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay. Ms. Lewis is going to make an introduction, and then you'll be free to make your statement.
Emory Blanchard understands what no one else in this courtroom understands. What the three children of Kouri are going through. When Emory was 12, I believe, she can correct me if I'm off there a little bit, her father violently killed her mother while she and her brother were in the next room. He was convicted, and it was, the state was seeking death, but ultimately, he, at that time, when the jury couldn't decide unanimously on death, he was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole. And I'm gonna let Emory take it from there and see what she wants to say.
Emory, please proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon. I was asked here today to speak about a personal experience. My name is Emory Blanchard. I grew up in Park City, and in 1995, when I was 13, my father murdered my mother, Patty. It was a brutal and premeditated murder, and I was in the house when it happened and witnessed it. It was a death penalty case, but my father was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole. At the time, I wanted him to go to prison for a long time, and I didn't want to see him again. I was afraid for my life and safety as well. My mother's parents and uncle raised me. We would refuse phone calls from the prison, but my family collected every letter he sent and saved them in boxes, just in case I ever wanted to read them. In a short 4 years, when I was about to turn 18, I decided I wanted to see my dad. I had questions regarding the murder that I needed answered for my own mental health. My amazing grandmother offered to take me to the prison while I was a minor if I wanted to see my dad. I wanted to spare her from having to face the man who killed her daughter, so I waited until I was 18 and could go to the prison on my own. I didn't know if I would be fearful of my father or perhaps even so angry that I might attack him. None of that happened. The moment I saw him for the first time in over 4 years, he simply hung his head and said to me, "I'm sorry." We both burst into tears and held each other. I felt safe and as whole as possible again in his embrace. Yes, this was the man who killed my wonderful mother, but at that moment I realized he was still my dad and I still needed him. The next decades were good at times and very hard at times. Many years I visited my dad often in prison. Some years were exceptionally hard for me, and I chose not to see him at all. I experienced a full range of emotions, and all of them were valid. I knew for my own health and peace, I had to learn to let go and forgive. No easy task, but this is when I truly mastered empathy and compassion. My father served 25 years until his first parole hearing. I was for parole, but nevertheless, he was denied and given another 5 years. At his age, I knew it was a death sentence, and it was. Just last year, after 30 years of incarceration, he died 4 days shy of his 81st birthday. My second worst nightmare came true, the first being my mom being murdered. I was not able to see him while he was dying. There was no compassionate release. Some may say he deserved that, and maybe you did. I can tell you that no amount of time served ever made this situation right. 20 years, 30 years, and even death. None of it can bring back my mom or repair the immeasurable damage that he caused me and my family. Once 20 years had passed, my grandmother even said to me, "It's been long enough. You want your dad." I wanted my mom, but I did still have a living parent, and I needed him. I don't tell you this story to tell you how to feel or that I understand how you feel. I'm offering that hearts and feelings can change over the years. To honor my mother, I'm a victim advocate who supports people in domestic violence situations, and I now help people with PTSD heal at my ranch in southern Utah using nature, horses, and farm animals as teachers. I teach compassion for humans and animals alike, and I found a way to turn my pain into purpose. But I will tell you honestly that life is still hard, and losing both of my parents at that young age harmed me greatly and left me with a very sad and lonely heart. No amount of prison time made me feel better, and in the later years, my father's incarceration wore on me severely. What I will leave you with is this: hold tightly to the good memories of your father, and in time, perhaps your mother too. Cling to your family and siblings for love and support. Please let love reside in your hearts and not hate. I pray for your family and for your peace and healing. And thank you for allowing me to speak today.
Emory, thank you very much.
Thank you, Emory. Your Honor, there is so much more to sentencing a person than punishment. That is why in sentencing someone, the court must consider the totality of the circumstances, the whole person, and who that person is beyond their worst act. In their sentencing memo, the state cited to State versus Holland, which was a death penalty case. The state quoted the court as follows: "The psychological reality is that aggravating circumstances in first-degree murder cases will virtually always outweigh mitigating circumstances. However, what the state left out is what the court said next, which was that the Eighth Amendment doesn't allow the death penalty in every case, and courts must take a long, hard look at the totality of the circumstances, the values of society, and the value of all human life. And though this is not a death penalty case, the same would apply to a sentence of life without the possibility of parole." Ms. Nestor spoke a little bit about what a life without parole sentence looks like. Locked down for 23 hours a day. If we treated our dogs like this, they would be taken away. Yet, this is how the state wants Kouri Richins to be treated. A sentence of life without parole is safe for only the most heinous of crimes. The state wants to place Kouri in that category. They say she is in that category, but this simply is not the type of crime that we typically see get a sentence of life without parole. Currently, there are approximately only 72 people in Utah serving this sentence. These include people such as Edward Deli, the co-defendant of Vaughn Taylor, who is currently on death row. They killed 2 women, kidnapped 2 young girls, and attempted to kill those girls' father by lighting their cabin on fire. I believe that was in Summit County. It includes Daniel Ray Troyer, a serial killer and rapist of women in their 80s. He was convicted of killing 2 women, admitted to a 3rd, and likely killed a 4th that authorities are aware of. It includes Matthew John Breck, who kidnapped a 10-year-old girl, stabbed her multiple times, severed her spinal cord, and left her dead on her front porch. It includes numerous individuals who brutally murdered children, some who murdered police officers. There are only a handful of people serving life without the possibility of parole for killing a spouse. And in all but one of these that I could find, they killed more than just their spouse. They are individuals who killed their spouse and a child, or killed their spouse and someone else in the process. The only one I'm aware of who killed a spouse and no other individual is Craig Crawford, who set fire to the home of his estranged husband, leaving him to die in the fire. And then there are individuals serving sentences of 15 to life who committed arguably more heinous acts than what Kouri Richins has been convicted of. Eric Sampson abused his wife for 28 years, ultimately killing her in their St. George home, leaving her dead in their bed. He continues to maintain his innocence, and he's serving 15 to life. John Weston Erickson stabbed his wife to death in front of their 2 young children, also injuring his 7-year-old daughter, who attempted to wrestle the knife out of his hand, serving 15 to life. Joseph Castillo, his wife, stabbed his wife to death in their garage while his teenage son tried to stop the attack. These men are all serving 15 to life sentences. There are many more examples. Murder is the worst of all crimes, but to say that this particular case is the worst of the worst is simply not true. The state chose the evidence they put forth to obtain their conviction, yet they are not satisfied with what was presented in this court and to the jury. And instead they waited until 2 days before the sentencing hearing and publicly filed what can only be described as a character assassination, filled with unsubstantiated claims from unknown and unsworn sources who will never be cross-examined about these claims. The timing of this filing was no coincidence and left no time for our team to arrange rebuttal witnesses or evidence. Furthermore, it appears that the sentencing memo was not a so subtle attempt to get into the public eye evidence they elected to hold back from their case in chief, and then were precluded from presenting when Ms. Richins exercised her Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and submitted the case to the jury without putting on any evidence. To allow the state to use the sentencing hearing as a public platform to make new unsworn allegations untested by cross-examination or sufficient investigation would violate Ms. Richins' right to due process and would be contrary to the Utah Supreme Court's finding in State versus Wyoming. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I have the site if you want it. Which stating that the due process clause of Article 1, Section 7 of the Utah Constitution requires that a sentencing judge act on reasonably reliable and relevant information and exercising discretion in fixing a sentence. The state's memo should be stricken in its entirety and not considered by this court. Not only are the claims made by the state in their sentencing memo unreliable and irrelevant, much of what they argue is either misleading or outright false. I'm not going to go into everything that we take issue with, but I do want to point out a couple of examples. They state that DCFS supported a finding of emotional and physical abuse by Kouri against her oldest son. What actually happened is that DCFS made an initial finding based solely on reports. This is similar to a probable cause finding that then sends the matter to the juvenile court. The court, however, did not find that Kouri had abused or neglected her children. They found dependent but no fault. In other words, that the children needed intervention, but due to no fault of Kouri Richins, due only to the fact that she had been arrested. They did not even find that she had acted negligently towards her children. The state put forth at length what they believe Kouri's middle son, AR, would have testified to had they been able to call him in rebuttal. Although it is true that Ashton said these things 3 years after the death of his father and after conversations with Eric's family members, this is very different than what he said to law enforcement immediately upon Kouri's arrest a year after Eric's death. At that time, his statements were completely consistent with Corey's. Corey had gone to sleep in his room the night his father died. The state argues that Corey's boys are afraid in part because she still maintains life insurance policies on them. Corey was of the belief that these policies were no longer in existence since she had not made any payments on them in over 3 years. And in fact, a letter was sent, or an email was sent from Brian Freckleton, who testified, to Ronnie Darden, as Ronnie is the owner on these policies, that this was over a year ago, that the life insurance policies are lapsing, and wanted to let them know if they chose to do anything about that, which they did not do anything about that. So we only discovered yesterday, Corey only discovered yesterday that at least 2 of these policies are still active, as the payments have been automatically taken out of dividends. So in other words, the policies have been paying for themselves. These are policies that Eric and Corey took out together in 2017. However, now that Corey knows that these are still active, she will cancel them. Hopefully, in all sincerity, this will be one less thing for those boys to worry about. Corey never asked her family to report criminal activity or asked for criminal prosecutions against any of the Richins family or against Cody Ray. She never asked family members to file bar complaints. And until yesterday, neither Corey nor anyone from her team had ever heard anything about a dating profile being set up online in the name of a lead detective. She did none of these things. And if they were done by others, it was not at her request. We are asking the court to discount any and all allegations in the sentencing memo that have not been previously raised in court in order to strike them from the record. The court does have before it reasonable and reliable testimony from individuals who know Corey or who have unique perspectives on the sentence of life without parole that may assist this court in discerning the appropriate and proportionate punishment in this case. The testimony of these individuals revealed that Corey is so much more than what she has been portrayed as in this case. Everyone who was around her says she was a wonderful mother, just like Eric was a wonderful father. The state argues that she shows no remorse. Corey has remorse and she has regrets about many things, and you're going to hear some of those when she speaks. However, she cannot show remorse over something she did not do. She maintains her innocence and has every right to do so. Having said that, however, she stands before this court today convicted of the crimes charged, and she fully understands them. So sentence her on what she was convicted of, not what the prosecution says about her character. As much as they think they know her, they do not. They do not know Kouri Richins. Like Alex said, we're saddened by this case. We're saddened by the verdict. I respect the court system so much. I come from a family of judges and attorneys and was raised with the utmost respect for our justice system. I disagree with the verdict, but I respect it. I have to say though, in all the years of practicing, which are now quite a few, this is the first time I've had a client convicted that I believe to be innocent. It was much more painful than I would have anticipated. Over the last 2 years, our team has got to know Corey. Corey is one of those clients, very few clients, and I've represented thousands of people. Most of them you don't remember. Many of them you don't like. Many of them, some of them, you feel are dangerous. But Corey is different. Corey, every time she calls, asks how we are. There have been times when I've shared bits of my life with Corey, particularly having children that lost their father before age 10. We've talked a lot about that and what that does to children in the best of circumstances. I can't imagine had my boys not had me. Because the pain and suffering and the long-term effect that has had on them will never, ever end. But when I share something with Corey, when I share that someone is ill or that someone is having a problem, sometimes I don't even remember I've said it, and when she calls me, she always asks, how did that turn out? Is your family member okay? before we talk about her. Every time. The state is not only asking for life without the possibility of parole, they're asking for consecutive sentences. The sentences in this matter should run concurrent to one another. Pursuant to the line of cases, Strunk, Golly, and Smith, the sentencing statute favors concurrent sentences. And looking at the totality of the circumstances, imposing consecutive sentence would constitute an abuse of discretion. In State versus Gray, the Utah Court of Appeals cited Golly and Strunk, holding that the Board of Prisons' ability to grant parole is an integrated component of the rehabilitative needs factor that must be balanced with other required factors. Even though the statutory language has been modified since Strunk, Golly, and Smith, the language still applies. And the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeals still looks to that language. The board should still be allowed to function and make the decision regarding the rehabilitative needs of Ms. Richins. Running sentences consecutive to a sentence of life without parole is senseless. And if this court imposes a sentence of 25 to life on the aggravated murder, but runs the other charges consecutive, the effect will be the same. She will likely never get the opportunity for parole.
I don't think that's true. Have you run the initial guideline? It's a genuine question.
Yes.
I think it only adds.
The guideline on the attempted murder is 192
It only
months
adds 41 months if we run a consecutive.
before she's eligible
Right.
for parole. But, well, I'm gonna come back to that.
Yeah, if
I will.
you're running the guideline differently, I'd like to know.
I mean, no, I'm not running the guidelines differently, but the sentence is, well, I
I
talked about
understand your
this.
larger point, and I apologize for
That's
interrupting you, but if you do have a different running of the guidelines, those forms are not obvious, I'd appreciate it.
Well, I would say a sentence of 25 to life, and then if she serves additional time, does not guarantee parole. And I'm gonna talk more about that.
Okay.
And it's almost unheard of for someone to be paroled at their first parole hearing on these serious offenses. And looking at the totality, there are mitigators. Kouri had no criminal history at the time of Emory's death. She was involved in positive ways in her community. She volunteered regularly. She headed up a sub for Santa every year. She was a friend, a daughter, and a mother, and excelled in these roles. She educated herself. She was involved in every aspect of her son's lives. There is no reason to hold her in prison for life. We asked this court to impose a sentence of 25 years to life. When you put aside all of the media, all of the intrusives, and you look at the crime she is convicted of, this is an appropriate sentence. A sentence of 25 to life is not a sentence that guarantees the release of Kouri Richins. It is not saying that she even should be released. What it is saying is that the decision whether she should be released is a decision for someone else to make on another day. A day that will be, at a minimum, 25 to 30 years in the future. A future that could look very different than today. Although today is not a day for forgiveness, that day may come. A sentence that allows for parole is a sentence that gives a pathway to forgiveness. You heard from Emory Blanchard, the only person in this room that understands what the Richins boys have been through. You heard how the day came when she missed her father. She wanted her father in her life. I know that she came to a place that she hoped to spend one more day outside of the prison walls with her father. And that day didn't come. He was not paroled, and he died in prison. I don't minimize what Kouri's boys are saying today. I understand it's contradictory to what other people are saying regarding Kouri as a mother. I don't know why they're saying these things, but what they think and feel today, they are allowed to think and feel those things. They should be. Their feelings are valid, and it's okay. And I think Kouri will say this too, but she wants her boys to know it's okay. People change. All of us change. Kouri will change. Those little boys will change. A sentence of 25 to life will not be easy time. It will be hard time. For the first part of that sentence is generally served in maximum security for the first 3 to 4 years. But if the day comes when her children want to see her face to face, a 25 to life sentence will make that easier for them. If they, like Emory, decide someday they want a relationship with her, even one behind the walls of the prison, a 25 to life will make that possible. And a sentence with the possibility of parole, like I said, does not mean she will be paroled. It's very possible she will spend her life in prison. And quite frankly, if her case does not come back on appeal and she is in prison and she maintains her innocence, parole is highly unlikely. But the Board of Pardons is uniquely qualified to make that decision. That is their job. And it is a particularly important job in the most serious of convictions. They will be the ones looking at a woman who will then be in her 60s or possibly 70s. They will decide if she has been rehabilitated and if she is a danger to the community. These are not decisions that can be made today. We don't stand here today asking you to give her a second chance. We ask you to let those best qualified make that decision when the time comes. When Kouri's and Eric's boys are grown. When they can tell the board if they feel the same way that they do today. You heard a letter read today from a woman who once stood in the shoes of the Richins family. At sentencing, she wanted life without parole for her son's killer. Now she does not. She has changed. Her views of prison have changed, and her feelings towards the man that took her son's life has changed. But a life without the possibility of parole, the sentence cannot be changed. If Kouri and Eric's boys someday change their mind, and it is too late to say something different than what they've said today, this day will become one more day that haunts them. If in 30 years they still do feel as they do today, they will have the opportunity to express those feelings. But don't allow their statements at age 9, 12, and 13 become another tragedy, another trauma that they may end up suffering as adults. A sentence that doesn't allow even the possibility of parole is a sentence that tells the world there is no hope. There is no growth. There is no change. There is no room for forgiveness. There's no room for love. That we are all our worst act and will never be anything more. And that is not the human experience. In a world where humanity is waning, act with humanity. In a world where hatred is encouraged, act with kindness. In a world where forgiveness is seen as a weakness, act with compassion. A sentence of 25 to life with the other charges termed concurrent reflects the seriousness of this offense, takes into consideration the totality of the circumstances. Further, it follows the recommendation of the pre-sentence report, and it is the appropriate sentence in this matter.
Thank you, Ms. Chris. It is 12:55. We're going to take a break until 1:25 to make sure Ms. Richins gets an opportunity to use the restroom and eat something. Mr. Bloodworth, you look like you have something to say.
Your Honor, does the court want to hear from the state one last time before the proceedings?
I do not. I have this firmly in hand. I would like to make it clear, in case there was any ambiguity, that the court has considered and is denying defendant's request to strike portions of the state's sentencing memorandum.
Yes, thank you.
Court will be in recess until 1:25. Let's make sure that Ms. Richins gets something to eat. Thank you. We're off the record.
And we are back. Hey guys, did they just go to break? I was talking with Ted. Oh my goodness, what happened here? They went to break. I missed it. I was listening, but I was also talking to Ted on the phone. So I'm guessing they went to break, right? Stand by for the sentencing. So we'll stand by. I was on the phone with Ted. Denied. Thank you, V, for updating. So can you guys update me quickly? Because I was talking with Ted on the phone. Ted is this guy's busy. So he just did an impromptu live stream on his YouTube channel because he just tried doing it without using StreamYard. He just went like live without StreamYard or whatever. He just went live on YouTube. So that happened. Yeah. So what's a good picture here? There we go. I can be up here with V on the screen. So it's V, Shibby, and Kouri. Look at us, all three together. Happy family. So update us, because I was talking with Ted, and I had to, my old iPhone 8 is horrible. I need a new phone because I can't talk without, I guess the mic doesn't work, so I use a Bluetooth headset. But I can't use the same headset because it connects to my computer. Oh, God, such a thing. So now I'm wearing two headsets. And it's not the one ear in each. I got two of them hanging over my neck. They're those sports ones that hang over your neck. And I got the right ear in my right thing, and my left ear for the, just in case Ted I'd call back. So anyways, how long is this break, first of all? Do we know? Oh my God. So we're going to play it. Don't worry. I'm going to stick with it. Don't worry. I'm just not used to watching it live and having to jump in like this to fill time. I'm used to being able to just skip ahead. So I'll be better prepared. Oh, the whole lunch? Oh my gosh. Like a whole hour? No. What time is it? Oh my God. What am I going to do? What do you guys want to do? How should I do this? What? I was expecting this to just. So what can we do? Do we leave it here? Do I go back and cover? I don't know. Like, do we go back and watch from the beginning and then jump back to live when it starts? I can go way back to the beginning. And then I can keep it on a different screen, and when I see them go live again, I'll jump back to live. Is that a bad thing? 25-minute break. Right till 1 p.m. I guess that would be 1 p.m. What time? So can you throw a time zone in? If you're typing in chat, please, guys, give me one time zone to work from, okay? You choose East, Central, Mountain, Pacific. Choose one, please. So because when you see it on your screen, YouTube only calculates for your time zone. I'll go bonkers if I don't know the time zone. It could. I know you say 1 p.m., but I thank you. So I'm assuming that means 1 p.m. would be 4 p.m. my time, so it's probably Pacific time. You're in Pacific. Are you in Pacific? Hi, Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie, where you been? Silly, where you been? Get back here. You better come say hi more, silly. Hi. 2. Okay, Central. Perfect. Well, Utah time, you can't even say that because Arizona time is. You guys, come on. And CDT. You guys got to figure it. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to get into this with you. Because standard time is from November to March. Daylights is, so it would be CDT. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it matters, right? Sorry, guys, I don't want to be a dick. But, so it's CDT. Thank you. Now, the reason you must use that is because Arizona, Tucson, in some parts of Tucson, they don't observe daylight savings time. So they're in the mountains. So if it's MDT, they're only 2 hours behind me in East. But if it's MST, then they're 3 hours behind. And they stay standard all year round. They don't observe daylights. So I know I'm being a little stickler, but it really matters because Utah is mountain time, but not all states, not all counties and states and cities observe the daylight. Some of them choose not to do the daylight savings hour. You understand? So like in Tucson, Arizona, not all of Arizona is always on standard mountain time because they observe daylight savings time, you know? So it's an hour different. So there's, if that makes sense. Right? Well, I know I don't want to be a stickler, but there's really many. Dang, he's not reading chat. Well, yes, I am reading chat. What are you saying I'm not reading? What did I not read? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not reading every comment for sure. What do you think? What do you think's going on here? I'm setting up live streams. I'm talking with Ted. Oh my goodness. No, you didn't get in big trouble, V. You want to be playing? You got to triple down on this, V. You didn't get in any trouble. You just sounded ridiculous what you said. I mean, I don't know. What's wrong with me saying that? You sounded ridiculous. You're saying that when Ted is going to make a card, not to give the @sweet_dude_shibby YouTube name because it sounds, the optics of it sound ridiculous when Ted is only live streaming from my channel. He's not live streaming from his channel at that time. So if you think the optics sounds bad to tell somebody to watch a YouTube channel where Ted is only exclusively live streaming from because it's a weird name, well, it was a joke. Well, it didn't sound like a joke. I mean, you didn't put any. Then you doubled and tripled down on it, so you can say you're joking, but it didn't seem like it at the time. Okay. Whatever. But the optics, is that a funny? It's not a very funny joke then. No, jokes are supposed to be funny. You said the optics of it. No, you were serious. You can pretend you're just going back. I don't believe you. It's okay. I mean, jokes are great. Jokes are great. But all I was suggesting was that Ted has a card to hand out. Well, no, you're right, TJ. I'm not reading every comment. Yes, you're correct. What do you think I'm doing? You think I'm reading every comment while doing live streams? I'm sharing my screen. I'm researching on another screen. I'm making thumbnails for these. I have to fix thumbnails because this popped up. Then I have to change the banner to suit, make sure it's correct. Then I got to switch screens and do all this. Yeah. Yes, I'm not reading every comment. You guys seem to think I'm just sitting here doing nothing. Right. Okay. Well, make your jokes funny. No, I'll realize better. Oh, guys, settle down. So, this has caught me off guard. And then Ted went live, and I was like, what? I saw him go live, but he was just testing out YouTube. So we always use StreamYard. Now, if we do it straight through YouTube, he seems to think it's better. Hi, Lola. What's up? So, you can't be. You can't be. You'll have to make it up to me somehow. I'm just kidding. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for putting up with me. Yes. You guys are great. Just at least one little emoji. It makes so much. One little emoji once a month is all you need to support this shibby guy. It's all it takes. One tiny emoji once a month, and you could sponsor Shibby's what is that? Baby, like little man baby Shibby's complex or whatever that's called. Yes. I'm fragile, I'm innocent, I'm naive and pure. So one tiny emoji, 3 emojis is better. 3 emojis, and you can support me for the whole month. Like, yes, thank you. Oh my God, I feel the love right there. Hey, what's up, Paula B? How are you? Once a month, yes, it's all it takes. It's as little as 1 emoji once a month. You know, when they those sponsor whatever. $1 once a month is all it takes to feed a village. Well, she looked better with her hair down. That's for sure. It's not that she didn't look good with it up. It's just that I don't like when this even looks better. Some days she has it like stuck, pushed down way too tight. So thank you, Joyce. Thanks for putting up with me, guys. Ted is going to go live again. He caught me off guard and he went live through YouTube. And then he texts me, and then he calls me. I got my Bluetooth hooked up, my other headset, and he says he's going live on JLR soon. So I'm like, what? So that's at 3 p.m. So I think in 3 or 4 hours, Ted is going live on So if this doesn't get done, I think I'm going to stream, because Ted's going to call into JLR, and I might call in too. I said Ted is the main thing. So you weren't joking this morning, but I did say so. See, there you go. I didn't feel you, but it's okay. I mean, no, I didn't need to bug out. You're right. But all I was doing was suggesting Ted, even if he writes it on a paper, because you know how uncomfortable it is when, like, you say he's bumping into so Ted first, if you missed the live stream earlier, Ted bumped into the man who owned the bar where Alicia Hummel went the night before she went missing. Ted bumped into that man on the road and was talking with him. And at that point, this man really wanted to talk to him and tell him about things, and he would have tips for him. And if he learned anything, he was happy to see Ted, because, you know, people want this to be not forgotten. This guy was really nice. Ted talked to him for 5-10 minutes. And imagine Ted had a card, even if it was a written piece of paper and pen, that said, at Ted Investigates, you know, for YouTube channel. We're live now on @Sweet, you know, I had my thing. It's just so much easier. And here's both our emails, and then just hand it to a person, says, hey, we're live here on this channel now on YouTube. Email me if you have any other tips. And then just before he leaves, instead of, you know, imagine doing all that when you write down emails. So it's like, oh, NHL, not a capital, you know, a regular L. No, it's not a 1, ZR1. No, that's a 1. Writing down emails, you know how it is, guys. So that's all I suggested Ted do, was just even his card, if he doesn't have business cards, to write it down. At tedinvestigates@gmail.com, my silly email address, NHL, you know, all that. Then both our YouTube channels, and you could even underline and say, hey, we're only live on this one right now. And to that woman who got the flowers for him, she sounded really nice too. So then Ted went to after he left that, so Ted bumped into the man who owned the bar where Alicia went the night before, right? And he really wanted to help out. And I'm sure if Ted gave him the email address and have any tips, let me know. The guy would contact him with anything. I'm sure of it. And then Ted was going to go to visit Alicia's grave site, like her at the cemetery. So he went to stop and buy flowers. So he walked in and he took us in on camera. And he asked the woman, he said, oh, what flowers? And we kind of knew. I think it was kind of small talk at that point. And he broke into it and just said, yeah, he's going to the grave site of Alicia Hummel. And she's like, And he's like, oh, the girl that down by the boat dock. And she's like, oh, yes, she knew all about it. And then Ted's like, oh, I just talked to the bar guy who she went to the bar the night before, and he was just talking. He's a really nice guy. And she says, yes, I've been to that bar before. I know it. And we were looking for the name of it. And then she's like, ooh, I forgot the name though. So if Ted had reached in his pocket and just handed her a card or written, you know, his email address, she would have probably watched this live, because she suggested, you know, she thinks she probably suggested those yellow flowers, the carnations, but she did. She would have watched it live, and she would have watched my channel, and we would have gained somebody really important. She knew. She's right in there, this woman. So that's all I was suggesting earlier. Oh, yeah, I know, Ted at bars, I know, but still, he's a big boy, and I'm not his daddy, so take that up with him. Ted is going to do right. Don't you worry. He's not getting off track ever again. I told him, at least when I'm on your coattails, young man, you better stay on the road. I don't care if it gets a little bumpy, but you can't take me right through the ditch with you. All right? And he said, I promise. So, hi guys. We are, if you're just coming in, update is we're watching Kouri Richins live. They went for a lunch break, I guess. And if Ted is going to go on JLRs, I'll let you know. All right? I didn't say cards in general or having your channel on. Well, you said the optics of adding Sweet Dude Shibby was silly. The optics of it. And the optics of it, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't important, I wasn't asking him. But since Ted exclusively was live streaming through that, to tell that woman that she would have loved to go to my channel, as ridiculous as it is, And she could have watched the live stream where Ted went and took the same flowers that she just pointed out to him. And maybe she would be able to help us have a new friend here on our YouTube channel. You know, Ted needs to take advantage of these situations. He can do it any which way, but so listen, the problem is he keeps telling me he's going to do these things and doesn't. So that's me. That's why I'm going to get hard on him, because yeah, did you hear me slurp my smoothie? Sorry, I should have muted. Here, Norma, just for you. I just finished my smoothie. Oh, and Alicia wanted to know my recipe. I've told it a million times. Depending on the size of the frozen cherries, I do at least 10 to 11 to 12 or 13 frozen cherries. And the only reason I limit myself is because it's my old Ninja. I can't find any bigger cups from my old Ninja blender. And they're just like they're not very big cups. They're like, I don't know, 12 ounces. They're not huge. Let me see. They're 16-ounce cups. So they're not huge. So I have to limit myself to 10 frozen cherries, frozen banana I break up and throw in. I cover it with skim milk up to the top, not to the top, but just to the top of the frozen the fruit. Then I put a tiny little bit of coconut oil. I put 2 tablespoons of fat-free Greek yogurt, just plain. Then I put a gigantic scoop of vanilla protein powder, and I mix it together. Then I put 2 more gigantic tablespoons of plain yogurt, fat-free Greek yogurt on top. And it would taste awful, the yogurt, but when it's mixed in with this, it's really good. Plenty of sugar already with the cherries and bananas. So, or do the bananas and strawberries is really good together too. I mean, that's actually better tasting, but I think the cherries do better things for you. I think. But so banana, as long as you got a frozen, I do frozen banana and frozen cherries or frozen strawberries and skim milk. I cover it. You can use water, but I prefer skim milk, and just some protein powder and blend it up. It's awesome. It's like I can go hours without eating. It's like a meal. So I say Shibs is way better on his own. What? Don't you dare insult my boss. Oh, how dare you? I'm not ignoring you. Are you behind? Wait a second. He's ignoring now, but I know he will read chat later. No, I don't. Oh gosh, you guys are loud. Oh, also, you guys are like 8 seconds behind me on a delay, so just remember that. So you're probably hearing me now talking about this. So what should we be doing here? Yeah, I'm definitely not reading chat. I know, and you haven't let me explain it enough, but I didn't drop it. I just drop it. I figured I'll let you do whatever. Need help, blah, 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 blah. I know you guys mean well. Thank you, Norma. You're awesome. So, but you chose Ted Shibs? How did I choose him? What? People don't subscribe just because you asked them to. I never said, but who said what? I don't expect that. People don't ask. No, but she was interested. She was helping Ted. This woman he bumped into. Yeah, we want to ask her to come help us. She went to the same bar. She lived in that town. She knows people. Ted was talking, and he was talking to the bar owner. So they would want to help us. Yes. What's going on is, well, right. No, I have 60 people because I've got 2,300 subs because I've been, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not by myself, but if you're lost, we started a new stream. We were watching Kouri Richins' sentencing, but now they're on break and it's live, so we can't skip ahead. So we're killing time here and we're just talking stuff. So Ted is going to go live again later. I'll make a new live stream when he wants to go live again later. But then all of a sudden, about 30 minutes ago, Ted just did his own live stream. He wanted to test out YouTube, and he says he gained like 30 subscribers and a bunch of views just by not planning a live and not using StreamYard. So we think maybe we should be using just YouTube to go live. I don't know. So we're working it out. But Ted said it seemed like he didn't make a thumbnail, a proper title. He just went live. And all of a sudden, he got tons. Seemed better, he said. So maybe StreamYard is not as good, but I get to use all these banners, and there's different. StreamYard is good, I think. So just so you know, we're just kind of killing time until this starts up again. So we're watching and I will go back later on. I will do this properly from the beginning. I will watch the sentencing properly, and we'll list, because I didn't catch it all. I missed a whole lot of it. So look at, they're live now. So we can go back in this live stream to when,
So, other than that.
but so this victim impact statements happen. This is Eric's brother. So, and then Eric's sister went up obviously and spoke.
efforts.
And what an anger! Well, they got Kouri in the background too. I wonder if she turns and looks at her. She probably gives her some heavy stink eye, I'm sure. This one, she hates her. And I guess, who's this?
There has been lawsuit after lawsuit, motion after motion.
I'm not sure of these people, but I will find out, everyone. This was the one that I felt lied a lot. Who was she again? What do you mean ban? Oh. No, because you can leave if you don't like something that's on here. Yeah. Why would I take a poll? I don't ask for permission. This is my channel. If you see something you don't like, come on back later. Yeah. You think I'm going to take a poll of people that I like or that I'm showing on the channel? Why would I do that? I see what you're saying. You like me, and thank you, but in a way, it's kind of, no, I won't ban you. Oh, no. But I mean, come on. You guys are a little passive-aggressive with your comments sometimes. You got to admit that, right? Come on. Ba-da-ba. Aren't we? Aren't we all a little passive-aggressive in our comments? I hear you guys. I appreciate you. And just know, it doesn't matter. If I'm doing lots of things, and if I'm streaming somebody else, if you don't like them, maybe just please do me a favor and come on back later or something, okay? You don't kind of stomp. Some people feel the need to storm and say, I'm leaving, fuck this. I'm only here for Ted, and I'll screw you. And I mean, thank you. Say it once and then leave. Don't say it 20 times and then, I don't know. Just know I'm trying my best, guys. And if there's anything, we're trying a variety of things, okay? We're trying storm chasing. We're trying, many things. And if there's something you don't like, you can say. But I mean, it really be best if you just kind of come back later and find something you do like. Just know I appreciate you, and we can't make everyone happy. We're just trying to do stuff. Just like this. If Ted's going to be sleeping for a couple hours, I thought this would be perfect to play. So just know I appreciate you guys. And if it's something you don't like, just come on back. You can take off. There's so many other awesome distractions. Okay? Yes. Well, say it all you want. That's fine. No, it doesn't. You get confused because you miss half the stuff, and then you come and ask me what's going on. You need to hang on my every word. You won't be confused. I'm kidding. Well, hey, you guys got a channel. Do it the way you want. This is what I want. Okay? So please just bear with me, because I think it's the way to do it. We can't just keep doing Nancy Guthrie, or we can't just keep doing Delphi. We can't just keep doing one thing. I want to try different things, and I hope you guys understand. Also, I've been doing 4 live streams a day. I've basically been live 16 hours a day, 10 hours a day. If you look at my live streams, I'm doing 3 or 4 a day in 8 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So I think we need a variety. Because come on, it can't be the same thing over and over. So just, if I'm doing something like now, and if you want to catch Ted, go back and watch the one we just did. We've done 2 other live streams today already. Go back and watch those ones, and then come back, later. Or if you only like this trial stuff, stay tuned. When this starts up again, we're ready. So I was just kind of blowing through it. see who it was. So this one, I remember I think she lied. I thought she was a liar. And I don't even recognize her. So I'll do better. And this is Kathy Nestor, the worst defense attorney in history. And then there's going to be Bloodworth, who's not a very good prosecutor neither. Her assistant is better than her, I think, in ways. But still, none of the attorneys in this case were very good, I felt. This is, who's this guy? I don't recognize him. They're not live yet. No, who is this guy? I didn't recognize him. So I'm going to do this all properly in another live stream. I'm going to do it all properly. We're going to watch this properly. I'm sorry, I totally forgot this was going live today. I just saw it when Ted was wanting to take a break, so I thought it'd be neat. We just jumped in and showed this. I don't recognize him either. Oh, here's the other defense attorney, backup guy. He's like the third of the defense attorneys. So, yeah, some people don't like defense attorneys, but I mean, they serve a purpose, guys. And when you're in a pickle, sometimes if you're either accused or even wrongfully accused, you guys want a good defense attorney. I know they do stuff and you think it's an important job. It can't be easy. Even if you saw this person do this crime, it needs to be a high bar to be putting someone away for murder. All right? Come on, we can't just, so wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right? So, like, you guys got to agree. It should be high. It should be a high bar. Like in Delphi, Richard Allen gets 133 years on a bunch of gobbledygook. And if you even watched the Dale Warner trial, where the wife was welded into a tank in Michigan, if you really pay attention to that prosecutor's closing statements, it's what the jury sealed the deal on. It's nonsense. The prosecution, the lady in the red jacket of the Dale Warner murder trial versus state of Michigan, she showed video that wasn't happening. She quoted stuff was happening. It didn't even happen on the video. She had no evidence. So, I mean, I would think Dale probably did it. It just didn't do it the way they said. No way. It happens. She's so nonchalant about in the Dale Warner trial that you can just take 2 or 3 hours and chop that tank off with a hand grinder, walk around in front of all these cameras are there with the said grinder to go commit hide a body with that grinder. You think he's going to walk past 5 of his own cameras holding a grinder to go and entomb his wife cut open a tank to entomb his wife with a grinder? That makes no sense. Dale wouldn't have done that. He would have put it in a bag or a box and you would never have seen that grinder. So to think that you think that the guy's going to just walk by all his own cameras to go and cut open a tank it's going to be obviously cut open with a grinder if it's ever found. And then the welding job was a hack job. And even if Dale couldn't weld, which I highly doubt, he would have cleaned it up with that said grinder. He would have cleaned those grinds up before he painted it and put fresh decals on it. So the whole thing is suspicious to me. And this prosecution in that trial didn't prove hardly anything. It was all gobbledygook. So I ain't mad. See, this is where we're wrong. He's not even mad at the right issue. I wasn't mad at all. So this is where you're going. They're trying to kind of direct what happened. And so, yeah, I wasn't even mad at all. I mean, you said the optics. I mean, I saved the comment. I actually took screenshots. So if you want to go over it, we can. I was telling Ted to write down my YouTube name and Ted's YouTube name and hand it to that woman. And we could have gained a new subscriber. She would have watched Ted live on my channel. And V says, don't write down @SweetDudeShibby because of the optics of how silly my name looks. And I had to remind her that Ted, lots of times, and this time, was only streaming through me exclusively. Right? Or he had his YouTube, but I mean, lots of times he does it through me exclusively. So putting my weird name is appropriate. You said the optics of it didn't look good because it's a weird name. So tell me what I got wrong there. Where did she go then? If Dale didn't do it, why did he lie and how did she go in the tank? Well, that's a good question. How did she go in the tank? There was a lot of suspicious people involved in there. Her brother alone was suspicious. He was lying to the media too. What about that? Pointing out the tank. He pointed out the tank before everyone and then lied about pointing out the tank to the cops. That the cops said he lied about it. I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not saying Dale didn't do it. I'm just saying if you think it's so easy, you think you can just chop that tank open in 2-3 hours and then weld it back together, paint it, and then get it, you know, it's just a big job. Come on, guys. I'm not saying I'm saying the prosecutor, now don't quote me. But when did I didn't say the brother did it. Don't you start with me, whoever you are. Yeah, there was cameras everywhere. What did they catch Dale doing? Did they catch Dale going to the front door with the JCB loader? Did they? No. Oh, we're back. We'll talk about it after. Thank you for discussion. We're back.
All right, we're back on the record. This is case 231-500-139. Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor, anything further before we hear from Ms. Richins?
No, you're.
Okay. I understand that Ms. Richins will like to stand at the podium,
Yes, sir.
and you folks would like to join her.
Yes, sir.
No problem. There should be Kleenex up there if you need it.
It's right here. Do you want water?
My sweet baby boys. I know that today you don't want to speak to me, have a relationship with me, but you may think you hate me, and that's okay. I will never be angry at you for your feelings. When the day comes that you're ready, I will be here for you, waiting for you and loving you. But I need you boys to know and understand that I have been desperately trying to get in contact with you any way that I can for years. That all of my communication has been completely cut off from you since early 2024. And now I will use any opportunity I can to get a message to you. Even if that means sharing it publicly to the world, fully restrained, in my jail clothes, in one of the most horrible situations possible. I don't care, and I'm not embarrassed or ashamed by any of it. All I care about is you boys. I will do whatever it takes for you to hear the truth from me and to come home to you. For the time being, I don't know when that is or when my next opportunity will be. So for now, bear with me as I have tried to consolidate everything I've wanted to share with you for the last few years, with everything I want you to know until I'm able to speak to you again in one long message. And although you may not be ready to hear it today, that's okay. My hope is one day you will be. May 6th of 2024, temporary custody was transferred from the state of Utah Child Services to your Aunt Katie and Uncle Clint. My last video call with you boys was several weeks prior to that, around April 24th, 2024, when you were still in the state's custody. Once temporary custody was transferred to Katie and Clint, against my wishes, they cut off all of my communication between you boys and I. It was years before I would ever have a trial. I warned social services that if they gave custody of you to the Richins family, it would be the last time I would be able to see or speak to you boys again. And your opinion of me in this case and wild allegations would soon mirror those of the Richins family. And that's exactly what happened. You need to know the Darden side of the family fought a long, hard battle for custody, but was eventually ignored and denied. Since temporary custody was granted to Katie and Clint, they have not allowed me to see or speak to you. No more video calls, no more visits, They blocked the phone number for the jail so I can't call you. Birthday cards, Christmas cards, the letters I would send you boys, they were all returned or rerouted. All of my contact was cut off more than 2 years ago. So please ask them. Please ask them for your cards, for your letters, if I tried calling you. Please just ask them, whether it's now or in 10 years. The one thing I need you boys to know is I did not abandon you. I did not just walk out of your lives one day to never return, to never call, to never show up. Regardless of what anyone tells you, I would never ever leave you boys. And I am so sorry if for even 1 second you thought that I did. If for even 1 second you thought that I didn't love you. Because that couldn't be further from the truth. You boys are my world. The reason I continue to wake up every day and fight to come home. You're my reason for living. I understand that you're in a difficult situation, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I understand you guys have been through an extremely difficult time this past 4 years. You should never have to deal with such tragedy, and I am so sorry that you are going through this. You boys have the right to be angry, and sad, and confused, feel in survival mode, have questions. All of this is completely valid. Your feelings are completely valid. And one day when this is all over, we can sit down and talk about all of this and sort it all out. I promise you boys, one day it will be over. I'm not perfect. I have succeeded and I have failed. As a person, as a wife, as a parent, we all do. I have done plenty of things I am not proud of. Some I regret, some I don't. Some I'm ashamed of, and some I'm not. I regret things I have done right in my life to later find out they were for the wrong people. I have said things I shouldn't have. I've done things I shouldn't have. Sometimes I haven't said what I should or not meant what I did say. There are things I can't change and long overdue apologies that I owe. There are would-haves and could-haves and should-haves. We all have them. We have all done them. And you boys will too one day, but in your own way. And that's okay. That's life, and we're human. Nobody is all good or all bad. We just get portrayed that way. You're going to succeed and achieve amazing things in this life. You're also going to make mistakes and fail at some things. But use those opportunities to grow and to learn. They do not define you, and don't ever let other people make you think that they do. We are not defined by our best or our worst moments. We fall somewhere in the middle, ever evolving, and you boys are ever evolving. Secrets diminish self-respect. They lose trust. They make us lose ourselves. I fell in love with someone who wasn't your dad. Your dad fell in love with someone who wasn't me. I did things behind your dad's back. He did things behind mine. Don't keep secrets. Always put your spouse first. Your dad and I didn't always do this, but don't be like us in that aspect. We made mistakes that I know I regret. And I'm sure if he were here today, he would say that there are a few things he regrets as well. Marriage is hard. Marriage takes work. Marriage takes love. Big love. Deep love. And you may think about divorce and you will have fights, but then you will make up and you will forgive each other. Because when your love is enough, your love keeps you together. Your love is all you need to ignore the noise Your love never fails. Sometimes your dad would want to throw in the towel on our marriage, or I would want to throw in the towel on our marriage, but we never did. We always found our way back to each other. I would pick up his towel, or he would pick up mine. We'd hand them back to each other and start again, because our love never failed. We stopped keeping track of each other's wrongdoings, and we forgave, and we moved on, and we loved. And if I had to relive all of those hard days all over again, I would do it without question. Your dad and I were a lot of things, a mess of sorts sometimes. But we were this crazy, beautiful mess that made us a family, because our love was enough. Our hard days never outweighed our good days. Our weak moments never outweighed our most memorable happy days. We always laughed more than we cried. We failed at some things, but we never failed at loving you boys. Our love was enough to make our house a home. Our love was enough to stay together, to raise you boys. Our love was enough to forgive each other when others said that we shouldn't. To do things for each other others may disagree with. Our love was enough to protect each other, even though it may cost us everything. Love can make you lose yourself. Sometimes it makes you do things you know you shouldn't, but knowing it's not wrong at the same time. Because your spouse is your person, your love is enough. One day, you will meet someone and fall in love and understand that just your love is enough. Enough to withstand everything else, the noise of the world, the obstacles, the trials of marriage, the heartache, bad choices, forgiveness. You will understand your love is enough, and your love never fails. Don't worry about what others think about your relationship. Don't worry if they would do things differently. You just love. And you love big, and you love deep, and you protect your love. Your dad and I didn't have it all together. Together, we really did have it all. Because we had you three. Don't let anyone choose the direction of your life by their opinions and their judgments. Being able to hold yourself together in the worst of situations doesn't make you emotionless. Separating personal and business life and emotions doesn't make you unreasonable. Resentment can get the best of others. Don't let it get the best of you. People will always have a lot to say about lives they've never lived. Live your life the way you choose to live it. Just be safe and be healthy and be happy. That's all that matters. Sometimes people will want you to believe that life is simply black and white. That situations are black and white, but they're not. Life, situations, they are full of color. At the very least, shades of gray. Always question the color, even if you're only questioning the gray areas. Keep an open mind. Question situations and stay curious. You will have some people in your life tell you how their love for you is unconditional. But once your most private life has been revealed, you quickly find out just how conditional their love actually was. Choose the people you hold close to your heart wisely. And always be the friend that walks into somebody's life when everyone else chooses to walk out. Always remember, the only people you owe your loyalty to are those people who never made you question theirs. Every day you wake up, you get a second chance at life, to do whatever you want, be whoever you want, to succeed in all your dreams. Take the day and run with it. It's a blessing. Don't take it for granted. Sometimes you'll have hard days when all you want to do is count all the ways things are going wrong or have gone wrong in your life. In that moment, stop, take a minute, take a step back, take a breath, and switch your thinking to count all the ways that it has gone right. All the good that has come to you, boys. All the grace, the blessings, and the love. Remember that anyone can give up on something. That's the easy way out. True strength comes when everyone is expecting you to fall apart, but you hold it together, persevering through the hardest of times. Always persevere. Always prove them wrong. Because you boys don't give up, and you boys will never quit. There's always going to be someone out there ready to tear you down, misrepresent you, lie about you, tell half-truths, and judge you. They will judge you on decisions you do or don't make, what you did or didn't do, what you did or didn't say. They will take out of context and twist your words. They will judge you on your emotions or the way you grieve. You may show too much emotion, you may not show enough. They will tell you you're not grieving correctly, you're too angry, you're too sad, you're holding it together too well or not well enough, or maybe you're too ambitious. They will judge you on your demeanor, if you cry, if you don't cry, if you don't do anything at all. And all of this will get misinterpreted into something that it's not, formed by the opinions of who's ever creating it. And then silence is also too often misinterpreted and misjudged. But when people behave that way, it has much more to do with them personally than it does you. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. It doesn't make it true. Remember who you are and what you stand for, the truth, and ignore the noise. Ignore their noise. Ignore their egos, their entitlement, and their biased judgment. Those who abuse the power and the positions they hold will have a higher power to report to one day, and that higher power holds the final truth, their final truth. Don't ever let someone tell you how to show emotion, how you're supposed to react to any given situation. Don't care what others think about you, what others say about you, just let them talk. Just be you, be yourself, be authentic, be genuine. Because those who truly know you, who truly love you, is all you need. Forgive those who turn their back on you, but never forget. Don't hold hate in your heart toward others. It only brings you down more than it does them. Apologize when you're wrong, even if that apology is long overdue. You can't change what you can't change, and you can't change the past. But you can take accountability when you mess up. Admit when you make a mistake, even when it's embarrassing or humiliating, even when it can ruin relationships, careers, or your integrity. Be honest with yourself and those you need to. But never apologize for something you didn't do. Never admit to something you didn't do. And never beg for mercy for something you didn't do. Don't take the easy way out. Always stand up for what's right, even if you find yourself standing alone or with a small group of people that love you. Believe in yourself and be brave. Never give up on your fight, no matter how long it takes, months, even years. Never give up on truth, justice, and the fight of corruption. When something is broken, fix it. When something doesn't make sense, question it. If money is paying for it, follow the money. Your brothers are your best friends. Your dad and I raised you boys that if you cared about nothing else in this world, you care about each other. Your brothers will always be there for you. They will always be your brothers. You love them, you protect them, you take care of each other. You support each other, you help each other, and you trust one another. You be loyal to one another, and you keep each other safe and healthy and happy. And you stay together no matter what. You have each other's backs. Be patient with one another. Don't keep track of wrongdoings. Let them go. Forgive. Move on. Show compassion, empathy toward each other. And never go a day without telling one another you love each other. Because you are never too old or too cool or too busy to love each other. Don't ever settle for just good. Go for great. In school, in your career, in hunting, in fishing, in your relationships, in your goals. Exceed expectations. Be like your dad. Be generous. Be charitable. Stay humble. Give when you have too much. Give more than you take. Help when others are in need. Serve your community. Be like your dad. Never stop learning through education, through people, through travel, culture, through business and friends, from your success and achievements, from your mistakes and failures. Be like your dad. Love the outdoors. Find your peace, your therapy, your heart and soul on the top of a mountain somewhere where it's quiet, where it's calm, where you will be able to feel the spirits of those that you love and miss the most. Be like your dad. Laugh. Laugh often. Laugh loud. Laugh when you want to cry. Laugh when you're mad. Have that laugh that everyone recognizes and no one will ever forget. Even when you're gone. Be like your dad. Love your family through the good, the bad, the disagreements, the back and forth arguments. Choose forgiveness. Choose love. Choose happiness. Be a loyal brother. Be a noble son. Be like your dad. Have the hobbies that bring you excitement and joy, that give you a break from life, but build your life full of people and family who you love and that love you. Build a family that makes you happy to come home to every day, with a career that makes you hold your head high. Be the friend everyone wants to be friends with, the dad that everyone wishes they had. Be like your dad. As your parents, your dad and I wanted to give you every opportunity or choice that we didn't have. We would do anything for you boys, or break our backs falling over obstacles and finding our way to be sure you had the best of the best. Even if we didn't always do it well, or have the right answers, or the words, we would give you everything that we had. But the one thing I can't give you boys are the answers that you want the most. Because I can't give you something that I don't have. An explanation that I just don't know. I've never lost a son. I've never lost one of my brothers, a nephew, or a best friend. But I did grow up with a single mother, and I have lost my father. I do know what it's like to wonder, what if Dad could have watched me graduate college, walk me down the aisle, be there for the birth of one of you boys? If only Dad were here. I do know what that's like. The lifetime of pain that brings, the sadness and the anger. I would never wish that upon anyone. Especially you boys. My own sweet babies. It's a lifetime of what ifs and if onlys. An empty hole in your heart where your dad's supposed to be. He's supposed to fill. He's supposed to walk through life with you, with us, with our family. I do know what that's like. So murder, an attempted murder, 4 years later, and it's still hard for me to say those words out loud. They get caught in my throat. I turn my stomach, and I try to avoid them as much as possible. Because it makes me physically sick to think about. But still to this day, I can't believe this is real sometimes. That this is our life. That this is my life. Convicted of taking one of the people out of my life who filled it the most. My husband, father of my children, still in shock and still in disbelief. Accused and now convicted of such a heinous crime. Potentially costing me to never see you boys again. I just lost both of their parents. And there's no textbook answer on how or what we're supposed to do. How I'm supposed to react or move forward. And I'm so sorry you boys are being pulled through the middle of this absolute chaos. Between two families fighting that both love you so very much. Trust and assets, our home, none of it matters. You boys are what matter. Your safety, your health, mentally, emotionally, all of that should be being prioritized. I will and have always prioritized your safety. I am your mother, and that is my job. And for anyone to scare you otherwise is just cruel and heartless. I'm sorry that 8 people from a jury who have never met you or me or our family had the right to determine our future. And they did that in less than 3 hours. In a perfect world, there might be justice. But in a perfect world, nothing ever goes wrong. Tragedies don't happen. Some think a verdict or the sentencing will be the answer that they seek or that they need, but it won't. It will only give them something else to think about for a while. It may help to disperse some of their hurt or their resentment, but it won't relieve it. This grief will outlive us all. The hundreds of lives that this has affected. The lifelong trauma you boys have suffered this last 4 years will outlive us all. You haven't had to just endure losing one parent, but losing 2. And no child should ever have to go through that, especially when one was an unforeseen tragedy and the other based on injustice and a system we're supposed to trust. Your dad's memory will always be the kind that's a physical hurt, the tightening in your chest when you think of him, particularly on days like today, his birthday, because he was so loved that no verdict or sentence will ever be able to release that kind of suffering. I'm broken without your dad, broken without you boys. God did not put me in this world to take a life. God put me in this world to give life, your lives. And I don't know who or what I'm supposed to be if it's not a mother. Your mother. And as much as you've been influenced into thinking that Dad was murdered, that I took your dad from you, that is completely wrong and an absolute lie. And the thought of that is still as absurd today as it was 4 years ago. And just because someone may not be perfect, that's a far reach for them to be capable of murder. To kill someone, our someone. Your dad was in physical pain. A lot of physical pain. And just because some people didn't know or didn't want to see certain things doesn't mean they weren't happening or they weren't true. He would have never left us intentionally. And I would have never taken him from you, from us. He was the glue that held us all together, that made us, us. Every little boy needs their father. Because he's supposed to teach you the things that I could never explain. He's supposed to teach you and do things with you that only a dad can do. And only he could give you those life lessons between a father and a son. I would have never taken that from you boys. I know how much you need him, how much you love him. How much you aspire to be just like him. And I would have never taken that from you. And I'm so sorry that I can't bring him back. For you, for me, for our family. I can beat myself up all day about how I could have been a better person or made better personal choices. And I can understand and accept you boys being upset about those things. But murder? No, absolutely not. I will not accept that. And I will not be blamed for something I did not do. I will appeal and fight these charges no matter how long it takes. Not because I have anything to prove to this court, to the state, to the Richins family, or to the world, but I do have something to prove to you three. I do care what you boys think, and I need you boys to know the truth. And because of that, I will never quit or give up on this fight for justice, the truth, and coming home to you. So please, I know that right now you may not believe me, that you believe I took Dad from you, and that's okay. I still and will always love you, and I'm asking that you please just don't give up on me. I'm coming home, not today, not this year, but we're going to make this right. Our justice system will get this right, although this courtroom can't seem to. We have a long road ahead, but I will never quit fighting my way home to you boys. I love you more than these words could ever express. I loved you before I ever met you. And I will love you long after I'm not here to say it. And every minute of every day, I miss you boys more and more. And I think about how much I wish I could be with you, that this nightmare would go away, and we could have our family back. This entire situation isn't fair to anyone, but it's especially not fair to you three. And you boys are all that matters. I want to remind you just how strong you are, that you are loved by so many, and I am beyond proud of you, of everything you have overcome, everything you have achieved, and how much you bring into this world. You boys have been through so much, and I wish I could take away all your sadness and all your pain. Tell you how much Dad and I love you, and that everything's going to be okay. I wish I could count the freckles in your little cheeks. Read you books before bed. And help you with all your homework. Wish I could help you through your toughest nights and hear your laugh through your happiest days. But for now, that's just not the way it is. have to be strong. We have to remember that our strength grows in these moments when we don't think we can go on. But we keep going on anyway, because we have to push through these hard days. Because in the end, at the end of this war, it will be so worth it. But I need you boys to always keep pushing through these hard days, because this will come to an end. I just need you to hang in there. Listen to your little hearts. Listen to your little bellies for the truth. Before you were told who to be and what to believe, remember who you are. Remember who we are. Remember our family. I will continue to call you every day, even if my calls are blocked. Just so you know that I'm here. I've always been here. And I will always be here. My cards, my letters, they will never stop. I will never stop. I love you forever, Mom.
That's all you're.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a fair reminder. While inside the courtroom, everyone involved in this process must be treated with respect. We cannot have any outward reactions inside the courtroom. If any of you feel overcome with emotion, frustration, anger, whatever, of any kind, please remember just to look down. Keep your hands folded in your lap. The court has considered the following information: the evidence, information, arguments, and recommendations provided by counsel on the record today, the victim impact statements and other statements made on the record today regarding the appropriate sentence, and a pre-sentence investigation report as corrected on the record today, including the numerous statements attached to it. In addition, the court has considered each of the factors set forth in Utah Code 76-3-201 subsection 2B and has prioritized those factors as required by section 201-2C. Having considered the gravity and circumstances of the offenses for which Ms. Richins has been convicted, the number of victims, and available information regarding the history, character, and rehabilitative needs of the defendant, the court hereby orders that the sentences on counts 2 through 5 shall run consecutively to each other and to the sentence imposed on count 1. Moreover, the court exercises its discretion and chooses to impose no fines related to any sentence in this case. The court addresses the 5 counts on which Ms. Richins was convicted in reverse order. Ms. Richins, based on your conviction on count 5, third-degree felony forgery, the court hereby sentences you to an indeterminate prison term not to exceed 5 years. Based on your conviction on count 4, second-degree felony insurance fraud, the court hereby sentences you to an indeterminate prison term of not less than 1 and not more than 15 years. Based on your conviction on count 3, second-degree felony insurance fraud, the court hereby sentences you to an indeterminate prison term of not less than 1 and not more than 15 years. Based on your conviction on count 2, first-degree felony attempted aggravated murder, the court hereby sentences you to an indeterminate prison term of not less than 5 years, and that may be for life. Which brings us to the final issue, the appropriate sentence for count 1. Under Utah Code 76-3-207.7, there are only 2 options. an indeterminate prison term of not less than 25 years, and that may be for life, or life in prison without parole. And the law requires that the court consider each option. Under a sentence of 25 to life, and considering the effect of the 4 consecutive sentences, the time that Ms. Richins has spent in custody, and the current practices of the Board of Pardons and Parole, Ms. Richins would likely serve approximately 30 years in the Utah State Prison before receiving her first parole hearing. By that time, she would be 66 years old. Under a sentence of life in prison without parole, Ms. Richins would be in prison for the rest of her natural life, unless the Board of Pardons and Parole determines by clear and convincing evidence at some future point that she is permanently incapable of being a threat to the safety of society, at which time the board would have the authority to release her. Under either scenario, Ms. Richins will be incapacitated, meaning structurally prevented from harming anyone outside the Utah State prison system for at least the next 3 decades, and perhaps much longer. But the potential impact on the survivors of the tragedy created by Kouri Richins, most importantly, Eric Richins' 3 sons, is more difficult to predict. On one hand, if the court sentences Ms. Richins to life without parole, one or more of those young men may come to resent that the court eliminated any opportunity they might have in the future, decades into the future, to express an opinion as adults with substantial life experience about whether their mother should, for example, be allowed to die with dignity. On the other hand, if the court sentences Ms. Richins to 25 to life, one or more of those young men may spend the next 30 years questioning why the court failed to protect them from the prospect of the person who murdered their father being released from prison at some time in the distant future, perhaps when they have families and children of their own. The court's contemplation of how those young men may come to feel about today's decision some 30 years from now comes from a place of genuine concern for them and humility regarding the court's inability to predict the future. Sitting here today, it is simply not possible for anyone, not even those young men, to know how their view of this case may evolve over the next several decades. My hope is that every person affected by Eric Richins' death will, over time, find their way to a state of peace. As for today, the court's duty is to make a decision, a weighty, long-lasting decision based on the best information available today. And the bottom line is this: Kouri Richins was convicted unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt of attempting to murder Eric Richins, her husband, and the father of their 3 children. And then, having failed in her first effort of spending the next 17 days, not changing course, but doubling down, preparing to try again, and ultimately completing the act through the administration of poison. And for what? Money. All for pecuniary gain. A person convicted of committing that sequence of acts in that way and for that reason, and who causes the absolute tragedy that has befallen Eric Richins' sons and family. A person convicted of those things is simply too dangerous to ever be free. Accordingly, Ms. Richins, based on your conviction on count 1, first-degree felony aggravated murder, the court hereby sentences you to life without parole. You have the right to an appeal, You must file a notice of appeal within 30 days. You have the right to be represented by counsel on appeal. Mr. Bloodworth, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis, Ms. Nestor.
Your Honor, we anticipate filing a motion for a new trial and would like a date set. We have a substantial record in this case. We will file the notice of appeal of the conviction and the sentence, and ask that everything be stayed pending the motion for new trial as we're entitled to do under Rule 4B. Excuse me, but we think we need sufficient time to file a motion for new trial based on the substantial record that exists in this case, longer than the typical 14 days, because this is not only the trial itself, but the years of litigation and motion practice that preceded the trial. We were hoping that we could get an agreed deadline of 90 days to file a motion for new trial, mainly because for half of June I'm out of the country, and for half of July, Ms. Lewis is out of the country. Normally we would ask for 60, but there's gonna be a month in there where both of us aren't available. So we're asking for 90 days.
All right, Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, the state objects. The rule provides for 14 days. I can't imagine this is a decision that was made today, I think. Council's had the last 53 days to prepare the motion, 14 days pursuant to the rule. I appreciate that it's a lengthy record in this case, but the issues available for the trial are fairly narrow. The state recommends the 14-day time period as provided by.
There is one other thing, Your Honor, on that as to why we need the extra time. So we have asked the county to retain an expert to assist to do a declaration for attached to our motion for new trial. And it's gonna require us to go before a separate entity to decide whether that funding is approved, and that just takes time. So that's another issue we need.
I feel like there's more that I need to know in order to make this decision. And so I can also appreciate why defendant is concerned about the 14-day deadline so they do not lose that opportunity. Sitting here today with very little information and the state having very little opportunity to respond to this idea, I'll extend your deadline to 28 days. But within that time, if you want to file a motion to extend it, Ms. Nestor, with more detail, you have 14 days to file that motion.
Now, can I ask for clarification? So the court.
14 days from now, they have an opportunity. They have a deadline to file a motion to extend the 28-day deadline. If they don't, it's 28 days. I acknowledge that that 28-day deadline may cause practical difficulties for the state's team, and if I need to extend the state's response deadline, I will certainly give that fair consideration.
Understood.
Ms. Nestor, Ms. Lewis, anything else today? Ms. Richins, you are hereby committed to the Utah State Prison and remanded to the custody of the Department of Corrections. This court is in recess. Please follow the deputy's instructions. We're off the record.
And we are back. So that's it? Just done. That's done, right? So you said they're in recess? Like, does that mean it's over? When he says recess, why would he say recess? Doesn't it say this trial is it recess? Why do you say recess? Recess implies they're coming back, doesn't it? Court is, what do they usually say at the very end? Court is adjourned or over? Adjourned, right? So they're coming back. What should we do, guys? Talk amongst yourself. Yeah. So sorry, I didn't know this was happening. I remembered, I forgot. I totally forgot. I guess I missed Dale Warner's sentencing last week, and I feel like I covered that trial twice. I covered it in my playlists. But I'm going to finish watching this, even though we always know the results, and we know, I still I'm on about day 10, so I have a playlist. So if you want to start watching it now, there's a playlist in mine called, oh, what is this? They just switched to a bag or something. What is that? They just switched. Oh, someone's purse. Oh, they had a live stream. You see, that could have been like one of those like a bad moment because they accidentally showed a camera, a live feed of someone's purse. You know? And it went dark, so. Oh yeah, there was many impact statements. Yes. Look at, they're showing his camera. This is bad.
Testing.
Oh my God.
1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. This is Jordan.
It works.
We are live still. We are waiting. Just checking to make sure everything sounds good.
Sounds great, bud. Sound a little meek and timid, but you sound good. Meek and timid, frail young man, but you sound great. Speak up. You know? Be proud. I don't know who that was. I don't know who that was. Obviously the IT guy for EastIdahoNews.com. Speak loudly, young man. Oh.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Testing, Kermit the Frogs, Testing.
Take my phone and
Oh,
some really quick.
Ribbit, Kermit the Frog. He's in his car. Oh my God, where are you going, dude? Are you live? Do you know you're live, dude? Be careful. That's Shibby talking. I don't know. I'm going to keep watching this. This guy's got a hot mic going here. Hot can. He doesn't know he's live, does he? Oh, say something weird, buddy. Oh, we're going straight to, oh my God, we're going straight to, this guy's a reporter.
Okay,
It's
we are
covered.
here
Oh,
outside the court.
are we allowed to watch this?
The judge has just issued the Sentencing-Kouri Richins. You've been watching with us. This is Selena. You've been coming to the court almost every day?
Yes, I've only missed one day. I've driven up from West Valley. Usually
one,
left my
check
house
two.
at 2:30 to 3 in the morning
check.
to sit out to get a seat.
And you've gotten to know the Richins family?
Yes, I did go over and start speaking to Renee, the sister, and I became friends with her and just compassion. It's never too. I want to apologize for being kind. Sorry, I was trying to get the words out. But anyway, so yeah, through the trial, I've begun to know them. So I got a wristband from them to get into the verdict. And
Let me
then
pause you there, Selena. Greg, anything you want to say?
Not
Whoa.
right now. Just give me
Whoa.
a call. Give me a call and I'll contact you.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Who does your
Sorry,
hair?
Selena.
young man?
Yeah, just wanted to grab them. So what did you
Very
think of
nice.
the sentence overall?
Sorry, just someone
So-
important came up. Sorry.
I kind of felt that's the way the judge was going to go, to be honest. But then when we went out to the break before Kouri did her speaking, I just thought, it's hard to read because you couldn't, I think Miss Lewis did a good job during her presentation. But yeah, the more I sat there, no, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Oh,
We're
thank
going to
you.
run over here and grab Greg. So good to
Yes.
chat with
Yes,
you.
yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yes, we're gonna go talk. We're gonna go listen to Greg. Speak up.
At the end of the day, I believe that justice will be served. That's all we can say right now, but I know the wheels will be turning for an appeal. And I hope that all of you take an opportunity to get to know her and get to know who she really is and what she's all about. I've been in business marketing for 43 years, and I've never in my career, on one hand, I can count individuals that have her type of character and her honesty and her integrity. She's a good human being. I can only tell you that from thousands of conversations and years of dealing with her and coming here, talking with her daily. So.
Oh, the audio's cut. Lola, I'm going to cover this again properly, okay? So if you need to, don't worry. Their audio sucks right now.
I
Lola,
appreciate all of you guys.
I'm going to
You're
cover
doing
this
your job
properly.
and whatnot, so. But,
I'm going to go back to the beginning and do it
we'll
someday.
talk soon.
Your reaction to what the boys have to say through their advocates?
Oh, I can't comment on that because of the appeal. Well, thank you.
Were you
Thank you.
surprised, Greg, at the sentence?
Maybe a little bit. I didn't expect without the possibility of parole, a little bit. Yeah, that's a little bit surprising. This girl's not even ever gotten a speeding ticket. You know, she's clean and pure as there is, and she's a wonderful human being. So but that's all I can say right now because of the appeal process. But we're heartbroken. That's the truth. We're heartbroken. And all we can do now is support her and love her and try to help her.
How's her mom, brother, sister?
They feel the same. Yeah, they're hurting right now. They're hurting. So just please support her and have an open mind. So okay, we'll talk to you. Thanks. I'll call you.
Thank you.
Okay, one more thing to be aware of. Judge and security don't want you focusing in on the entrance. Okay, so don't zoom in on the entrance to get people to you. But if anyone else wants to speak, I'm shuttling them all over.
Okay, so if you are just tuning in, Jordan, maybe, do you want to get situated? Or are we good here?
Okay, stand by. I'm gonna put my bag in the car.
Make a little room for vehicles, please.
Hey, and just wanted to confirm we are rolling with game 3 on that.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Okay, great, thank you.
Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. Mic check. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Shooting rounds just shot.
Good afternoon, everybody. We can maybe turn this way a little, Jordan. The judge has asked us not to show the front doors of the courthouse. That's why we have this interesting angle. And we're expecting here within the next few minutes that perhaps Eric Richins' family may come out and give a statement. I spoke with the defense attorney, Wendy Lewis. She said that she may come out and have a brief statement for the media. This was, of course, before Judge Richard Mrazek handed down a life sentence without the possibility of parole for Kouri Richins. This came after a 4 or 5 hour sentencing hearing today where we heard from many people from both the state and the defense. Of course, we heard from Eric Richins' father. He gave up and read a victim impact statement, talked about how much he loved his son, how much Eric's sons loved him, how much Eric was a vital part of their family, and how much he is missed. We also heard from Eric's 2 sisters, and then we heard from therapists who have been working with Eric's 3 boys over the past few years. They read statements on behalf of each of the children, and each of the boys, they said it was their own words. They put together these statements. One of the boys said that he was scared if his mom were ever to get out of prison. One of the other boys said that he wanted his mom to go away for a long time, that he did not want her to come out. And the state argued that Kouri Richins should serve life in prison without the possibility of parole. We then heard from the defense victims, or the defense people who spoke on behalf of Kouri Richins. A statement was read from her mother, and we also heard from her brother and from her sister-in-law. We heard from 3 people that actually have never met Kouri, but they provided statements because they have been the victims of crime, and they know of others who have been sentenced to life in prison without parole, and then later on in life they have regrets that that was the sentence that was handed down. And then we heard from Kouri Richins for about 45 minutes. She got up and she addressed her statement to her 3 sons, and she read from a prepared statement. She gave them advice about staying positive, working hard, having faith. She told her boys that this wrong will be righted, that she didn't agree with the sentence, and that they plan to appeal, and that because of that, I'm just keeping an eye over my shoulder in case someone comes out that we want to hear from. Oh, okay. Looks like the defense attorneys are leaving at the moment, so they may not be giving a statement, but we will see what they have to say. Kouri Richins said that she did not agree with the verdict, that she did not kill her husband, and that she will work every day of her life to right the wrong that has happened in this court. And that she will one day be free, and she will one day go home to her boys. Now, those sons are currently being cared for by Eric's sister and her husband, and they, of course, an emotional day for all of them. But the judge ultimately handed down the decision of life in prison without parole. He said that he had to weigh some important things. One is, if he sentences life in prison without parole, and in 20 or 30 years, her sons want to see their mother, that maybe he's prevented that somehow. But he said, on the other hand, if they don't ever want to see their mother, they've got to constantly think about the chance that she could reach out to them, or that she might get out of prison, or that there will be parole hearings if he sentenced her 25 years to life. And that seemed to be the core point of his sentencing, the thought of his sentencing, that those were the issues that were important to him. It was what matters for those boys. But in the end, he sentenced them life in prison without parole. Here's Kathy Nestor and Wendy Lewis. They're leaving in their car. Looks like they will not be giving a statement. I do have a statement that was just handed to us. This is from Kouri Richins' brother, DJ. I have not read this. It was just handed to me. I will read it to you. He says, "Today is not justice. Today is a big example of how our justice system has failed. Money, greed, and opportunity have ruled the day at the highest expense. There are 4 victims in this case, and none of which is Eric Richins. When a prosecution team has hid evidence on multiple occasions, written witness statements, and listened to attorney-client phone calls, without any repercussion from the judge. This is not justice. This is a prosecution team being malicious. When the police department has one job to protect and serve, but it is allowable to lie, intimidate witnesses, and destroy evidence. Once again, this is not justice. This is corruption. And he goes on, he says this is Jeffrey Epstein all over again, that the judge allowed coaching and of witnesses and threatening of witnesses. He ends his statement. This is DJ, Kouri Richins' brother. Kouri is innocent. We stand with her family. We are glad to get Kouri out of this unjust, corrupt, and harmful Summit County court system. We are excited to get the appeal process going in a fair and impartial manner. That was the statement that was just handed to us from Kouri Richins. This was the jury foreperson who came here today to be in the court. Kouri Richins she was assigned, her family was assigned 2 rows, supporters for her family and friends. Each of those rows was about halfway full. The rows for Eric Richins' family members and support was full. And so the way the court was set up is there were 2 rows for Eric Richins' family that were full, followed by a row of the media, followed by 2 rows of Kouri Richins' family. She was immediately transferred over to the Department of the Utah State Prisons. Now, she could be on her way there now or within a matter of hours. It could take a day or 2. It all depends on that, and they don't release those details for security purposes, but she will be an inmate at the Utah State Prison here within the next, I would imagine, 24 hours or so. And she will no longer be an inmate here at the Summit County Jail where she has been. She was arrested over 3 years ago, or 4 years ago now. It looks like we may have somebody coming. Just stand by here, Jordan. I'll let you get on the sticks if you need to.
They did not tell me whether or not to do this. So I have no idea. So you guys can figure it out. So yes, they leave or not. No one else is left in the court. So gone. No, they're not necessarily. Okay. So it's potentially Eric Richins' family, but again, I don't know. So. Do you know if the prosecutors are going to talk about? No, I don't think they are. So we don't know. Might have to wait just a little bit longer.
They're saying there's not.
Okay, we're back.
Can you hear me?
What they said, you guys still there?
Let me know if you can hear me.
So what they said is that we will not.
If you're watching and can hear me, let me know.
I can hear you.
Thank you, everybody. Stand by.
Hey, this is Kathy from Law and Crime. Supposed to be doing a live shot. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, so what?
Yes, I'm just using AirPods.
We were
Sounds
just
good.
told
Okay.
that Eric Richins' family has gone over to speak with the prosecutor in her office, and after they come out, it's possible they may come out and address the media. So that's kind of what we're waiting for right now, to see if they have any statement. The defense is not providing a statement. All three of the defense attorneys have left. We've been told the prosecution will not be providing a statement about Brad Bloodworth and his team. Immediately after the sentence was handed down, you may have heard that Kathy Nestor said that they plan to file an appeal for a new trial, and they want that. Normally that has to be filed within 14 days. They asked for more time, and so the judge gave them 28 days and said that they need to file within 14 days if they need an extension. And so it's likely we will be seeing that document from the defense coming down in the next month or so, asking for a new trial.
Can you see my shot?
As they plan to appeal not only the sentencing, but the verdict that came in from the jury. There was one juror who was here. The jury foreperson was here in the courtroom today while the sentencing hearing was underway.
Okay, top of the hour.
The judge has asked us.
Okay, does everything else look okay?
Not to show the front of the courthouse.
Besides the wind?
Our camera is angled away from the entrance. There's a marked police vehicle
We'll just wait.
with its lights on.
As a nice
outside
effect.
the entrance of the courthouse.
All right, we'll wait.
And so we are in a
Top of the
back
hour.
corner area of the courthouse,
I had some producer
awaiting
requests that worked
to
for
see if
me.
Eric Richins' family
They
wants
did
to
not
say
know what top of
anything.
the hour and bottom of the hour meant. I said, you know, like a clock, and I was like, oh, you've never looked at an analog clock.
It's Gigi.
They thought the bottom of the hour was the end of the hour. I'm like, you'll get to, it made me realize how old I was. We do, but I didn't have one out here. So actually Sid might have one. We got new ones that are long crime on one side and court TV on the other, but nobody has one out here in Utah yet.
Do I need to kill this? Check. Test this. We are switching mics here. I apologize for the feedback. Yes, somebody has their earbuds that we're connecting to us. Hopefully, is this better, everybody? I'm sorry, I don't the loud lady. I apologize for the loud lady, but hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear me better. Jordan's working to get it fixed. If you missed the sentencing hearing earlier, I know many of you were asking if it will be on our YouTube channel. Yes, we will keep it up if you missed any part of today. And then tonight on Courtroom Insider, we'll be live at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. We'll break down everything that happened today in case you missed it. Okay, you are hearing me. Let me know if you can.
I got programming in my ear.
If the sound is better now, if you can't hear that. Okay, they can barely hear me. Many of you are asking if that's Rod Zombie, who was with Eric's family. That is not. I have confirmed that. That is a friend of Eric. He is not. He is not Rod Zombie. Yes.
Still here.
They're saying it's fitting. Okay, so just as long as you guys can hear me, they're saying the lady is she's gone now. I wonder it was Gigi. That somehow the thing crossed. She's the only one talking.
She's talking to somebody.
Oh, was that Law and Crime maybe?
And that's kind of weird.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience. I would move around, or I would jump in front of the camera, but again, we are just waiting for Eric Richins' family, perhaps. Is it still going on?
No, but I just realized. A moment ago, when the computer was okay.
Loud lady's still loud.
Okay, I know.
Okay, that should be better. Has the lady next to me gone? We good? We clear?
Yeah, I know what it was.
Okay, they're saying she's gone.
Saw the two screens.
I'm right here. We got some breaking news. Ted is going to be calling into JLRs. I know TJ might not like this, but I think this is not going to stay going. I think I just made a new live stream. We're going to switch. I believe I made a new live stream. Give it a second to upload. I'm trying to find the link for the new live stream. It should be up any second. Oh, it's not showing. Oh. So Ted is calling in. It's not showing up on mine. Sometimes it takes a second or two. Trying to get the link to this new live stream. It's not showing up for some reason. I put public balance 5 p.m. today, my time. Oh, it's past 5. But stream is already. If you'd like to create it, unselect this destination at the top of the what? The stream is already scheduled on YouTube. Can't unschedule it. If you'd like to, what? What is that saying? Stream is already scheduled on YouTube. Can't unschedule it. If you'd like to delete it, unselect this destination at the top of the model. Unselect this destination. What? What's going on here? Oh my God, I don't even know what's going on here. I don't even know what's going on. I fucked. Recording. Oh my God. Edit. Recording only. Edit. No, I don't want to pick this. Oh, what is happening? Oh, I got to put it all in again. Oh my God. Fuck. Oh God. Fuck. I got to redo it all. Sorry, guys. I think Ted's going live on JLRs, and we're going to watch. And if you don't like it, well, I'm sorry. So schedule it for today at 5 p.m. I'm just going to put 5:30. Doesn't matter because I'm just going to start it up right away. So upload a thumbnail. Sorry, guys. I know you're listening. What? I'm not reading chat, so don't even tell me. I don't care. Save. I'm trying to make a new live so I can put the link in here before I end this. So that's the plan. There we go. So I've got one. And I gotta go to my YouTube. Sorry guys, I'm totally not looking. So please, if you're telling me I'm not reading chat, you're probably extremely right. I'm not reading chat. I just need to get this done. So where's my YouTube? There we go. So do Shibby. Get to my channel. Better be there. Oh, live. Yep, it's there. So here's the link. Share. Copy. I'm just going to start this live up like right now. I don't even know if JLR's gone live yet. Ted's calling in. He's got the link to call into JLR. That's where we're going. Alrighty, guys. You have 11 seconds to click that link.
Dude, you just touched Christy Boner's hoo-hoo. Shitty! Low five. Yeah. Let's get out of here.